Hey Jake, it's Trevor from CUTigers.com. I know you hate having Skalski get hurt, but how excited were you just about the opportunity of stepping up as the starter in the middle and kind of taking over that role as quarterback of the defense?
I was definitely excited. I think it goes back to last year when I kind of stepped into the second team spot, and I just kind of took my preparation to the next level, just trying to prepare every game like I'm going to be the starter, regardless if I play or not. But even in the championship game, when Skalski went down with the targeting call, I just was like, honestly, had like no emotion. I was just kind of like, okay, well, I was kind of preparing for this moment, so here we go. And then it was just kind of the same thing a few weeks ago. Even the Wake Forest game leading up to that, just my preparation hasn't changed really, but I was definitely excited, even though Jamie was hurt, but hurt for him, but I was ready to go.
Jake, it's Pete from AP. It certainly looked like in the first half there were some breakdowns, some concerns with so many people out. Do you think this, but you got it together in the second half, do you think this week the preparation will be smoother simply because we know who won't be there, we know who is there, and people have a little more experience to draw?
Yeah, I think so. That this last week, our first half, they just kind of made a lot more competitive plays on the ball. And then we just kind of stepped it up and made those plays in the second half. I mean, I think this week we had a good day yesterday, and so we're off to a good start. But I just think everybody's got to focus and get ready to go for this weekend.
What's it like? I mean, there have been you haven't had Justin Foster all year. Tyler Davis has been out much of the year. You know, now Skalski will be gone for a few games. What's that like when you lose so many key people on defense?
It's definitely a big blow, but you know, you can't really do anything about it. So those guys that have to step up, they just got to step up, and then they got to bring everybody else that's available with them.
Hey, Jake. Clemson 24/7. What impresses you about Notre Dame's run game and their offensive line?
I think they're a veteran group. They're definitely pretty good, and they've been good this year. But I mean, it's kind of the stuff that we've seen before in all our games. But it's definitely going to be a big physical and mental challenge all week leading up to the game. But we got to get ready to go practice.
Jake, it's Trevor again. Ian Book, their quarterback, can make a lot of plays with his legs, especially when things break down. But it seems like you guys are going against a quarterback like that almost every week with, Miami and again last week with Boston College. Is it just more of the same for you guys?
Yeah, definitely you have to take that into account, the quarterback run game. That can hurt you all throughout the course of the game. But yeah, we'll have to do a good job of containing him and then rallying to the ball when he does take off and decide to run.
Hey, Jake, it's Josh from the Post and Courier. What's that dynamic like with you and your dad, with him on the sideline coaching you and you're now there starting? What's that been like for you?
I mean, kind of the same when I would get in before. Just now it's earlier in the game. And we still come over and make the same adjustments like we would in the third or fourth quarter, even just throughout the game. But yeah, I would just say it's pretty much the same. The intensity's still there. The details are still there. And I mean, nothing really changes regardless who goes in the game. But it's been a fun experience.
Hey, Jake, with coronavirus kind of knocking out certain rosters at last minute over the course of the weeks, obviously you've played some teams with so far in the season where there's been outbreaks and there's not really one that's quite as severe at Notre Dame now, but is that something that you prepare and try to think about in practice in terms of, what personnel you're going to be going up against?
Honestly, no, I don't really think about COVID too much when I'm out at practice. I am looking for certain personnels each play, but that's just so I know where I'm supposed to line up and what I'm going to do. But nothing too serious as far as COVID reasons.
Hey, Jake, I was wondering if you could clarify where your brother got the nickname T-Bone from.
That goes back to when I was a toddler, when he was first born. My dad gave it to him. I don't know where he got it, but that's just always been what we've always called him our whole lives.
How similar, from what I understand, Dabo thinks that you're not quite so similar to your dad, and T-Bone and your dad are a little more alike. Is that a fair?
Yeah, that's pretty fair. My I don't know. I feel like I'm closer with my brother than I am than he is with my dad, but or I am with my dad, either one. But yeah, Tyler has a different edge to him. There's even been a couple times this season where my dad just has to look at my brother and tell him to calm down a little bit. But yeah, he's full of rage. It's awesome.
When have those instances been when he's had to tell him to calm down?
Games, practices, back at my house, just like every day, pretty much. He's always on edge. It's a good thing, but he's got to control it a little bit.
Jake, this is Todd in Spartanburg. What ways are you similar to your dad?
I don't know. I'd say as far as on the field, just trying to get in the mind of the offense, thinking what they're thinking. But I don't know. People say, well, first of all, some people say I kind of look like him, but then there's time. I don't know. A bunch of different reasons. I don't know.
Hey, Jake, I'm wondering, this is Ralph Russo with the Associated Press. You guys have a day off tomorrow that normally wouldn't have happened because of Election Day. And your team was like so involved and so out front on trying to do sort of the right thing, right? Like social issues and marches and things along those lines. To a certain degree, like that kind of activism is what led to this day off. But now you're here. Do you need the day off to go vote? What are you going to do with your day off that wasn't really expected? And in a normal circumstance, would you rather maybe get back into the football building because it is such a big game?
Yeah, I mean, regardless who we were playing, Tuesday's always a big day in our preparation, but we kind of bumped everything up starting yesterday. So I don't think it'll be any different tomorrow. We'll still be coming in and watching film and doing all of our recovery stuff, lifting weights, doing everything necessary. So I don't think that'll change too much.
Jake, this is Gene Sapikoff in Charleston. Can you kind of talk about the maturization of Nolan Turner as you've seen it from before you got to Clemson to now?
I'd say first, the biggest thing was just his knowledge of the game. And then the next thing would probably be his preparation. Before, guys would just come in and just watch film, but not really know what they're watching. Now, Nolan's just kind of stepped up and he's been running those meetings with everybody in there watching film together and explaining, like he knows exactly what the linebackers are supposed to do, what the corners do, and not just his only position. But that's probably just been his biggest thing, is just knowing what everybody else around him is doing.
All right, we have time for one more question for Jake.
Hey, Jake, it's Trevor again. I remember a few years ago when you were in high school still, your dad would talk about the fact that you would get pretty excited about the weekly rankings and all that stuff for Clemson. Has that changed now? Have you been able, now that you're actually in the program, to just kind of put all that stuff, aside and remove it from your thought process?
Yeah, I think since I've gotten here, the rankings, it's not really something that we think about, but I mean, towards the end, it obviously matters, but rankings they're nothing too much. I don't know. Rankings, they don't matter too much, but it's just about how we perform each week. Anybody can beat anybody. It doesn't matter what your ranking is.